Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday.
We made it.
I'll tell you what, man. The beef is heating up.
The beef
is heating up. The group chat has been a little tense, you know. If you're new or you missed Wednesday's episode, what I'm referring to is Taylor, who, you know, writes our newsletters and helps out over here, is a thief, a snake, some say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anand had a really great point on the pod last week. Taylor essentially copied it word for word, added some bullet points. I mean, not added the bullet points, literally just added the point.
Yeah, the bullet.
The actual bullet. The point that was made was Anand's. Posted it on his own personal LinkedIn and saw a lot of success.
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands of...
Millions.
Millions?
No, that's another one.
That's the other one.
Oh, sorry.
So it's a unique skill Taylor has.
Is it?
He can piss us off so much
That's unique,
without even being in front of our face.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much angrier we would be if he was just sitting here next to Pete while we were recording?
It's why, you know, he's he's probably the least popular personality in the group chat sphere.
On the group chat. And he keeps claiming that he claimed he was taking Anand's spot.
Yeah.
You know, he keeps claiming that people like him, but the audience doesn't.
No, they don't.
Overwhelmingly.
I mean, they barely like Pete.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to
And
say
Pete's
that
a
I'm above
likable
him.
guy.
Yeah.
Pete's very likable, and he claims like we're afraid to pass the torch to him.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
What's
behind
the
closed
torch?
doors.
Where are you going to get your takes
I mean,
from?
the torch would burn out so quick.
There's no fuel.
You'd be holding a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And he has a really good way, even in the group chat privately, of just being a dick.
Yeah.
You know, like you say stuff, he's like, well, that's why, you know, that's why us millennials are winning.
Yeah,
you old boomers.
Yeah.
You're like, shut up, man.
Everything has to be a dig.
Everything's a fucking dig.
Yeah.
So, and then he jumped on, you know, Pete, I think Pete's real sketchy because Pete, I think, is probably playing both sides of the fence.
For sure.
Well, no, he's making me decide.
Yeah, I heard you had 48 hours, which I think is pretty much up. So here you are.
End of this episode. We have a giveaway and I decide.
Well, we all know your decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially...
My paycheck.
Yeah.
It's Dee,
Last I checked, Taylor doesn't pay you. So that decision's over.
Wisconsin.
Because if things don't work out, you come over to this side.
Yeah, you go over to his side and sleep on his ground in Austin.
Yeah, be in a closet in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good on that.
Yeah, so it's getting tense, but I saw you guys did it behind closed doors.
Yeah, you had a lot to say about you guys.
Yeah,
I have
but I
to
just
watch
wondering,
that.
I mean, it seems like you're kind of facilitating.
So I was in the
I
room.
simply just
Facilitating.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was in the room next door. I was in my office. They were recording in their
you
office.
heard it.
And I started hearing the nonsense.
Yeah.
So I opened the door and just started screaming in the episode and walked out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a unique skill that he has. And
What's interesting is, because it'll tie into the general perception of Taylor Offer, the co-founder of Feet Clothing.
Yeah.
So he writes a post on LinkedIn that actually goes viral. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram.
it was his own idea, or?
I'm sure he stole it from somebody.
Got it.
Just didn't steal it from us.
Yep.
But he wrote, I bought a Tesla Model 3 last year at $60,000.
Yep.
At the time, the Tesla stock was trading at $200 a share. If I invested $60,000 into the stock instead of the car, I'd have $420,000 right now. Instead, I have a car that's worth about $35,000. The cost of me buying the car instead of the stock was $385,000. But being able to flex on everyone in a Tesla for that year, priceless. Okay.
That was
So
a good
clever.
ending. The ending was what nailed it.
Yeah, so the ending is Taylor in a nutshell. He writes a pretty smart post.
Yeah.
And then he's flexing on, no offense, the poorest model of Teslas.
Yeah.
True.
He's not talking about
Model
the P90 X, like whatever it is,
Nope.
like, you know, the $150,000 version.
Yep.
He's talking about the entry level Tesla.
Yep.
And, you know, so the post goes viral. I mean, I literally saw it all over the internet. So then he posted comments that people were giving him on the actual thing. So some of the comments were, I don't know, I'd rather flex on everyone in a Ferrari with the $400,000 from Tesla stock.
Yeah.
Imagine thinking driving a Model 3 is a flex.
Oh, man.
Hey, Taylor, everyone knows you paid to get on those lists Forbes put out. This guy makes your douche Hall of Fame first ballot. Bay Area tech bro flexing in the bass mode, options notwithstanding of their entire lineup.
So he's
I bet
pissing off-
Taylor's next lease payment that he didn't buy it.
So to the random LinkedIn followers that are following LinkedIn, if he's pissing you off this much off a post, imagine what he's doing to us in real life. We have to talk to him
every day and on text message. There's something, he has a really unique talent of just kind of
What I'm trying to
pissing you off.
and I'm trying to understand where it stems from, because he's smart. Seems like grew up properly.
Yeah.
He is successful, but he has some insecurity level.
Yeah.
That last line, it is literally Taylor in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And we've
Like,
met
it's
a lot of his friends who are seemingly normal.
All of his friends are normal. I like all of his friends except him.
All of his friends are such nice people.
Yeah, they're such nice people.
Smart, hardworking people.
Yeah, they're all, he has a very successful crew. But there's I don't know if he does that intentionally because he thinks he gets a rise out of people. And he's like, all press is good press.
Yeah. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. And I will say, had he not added that last line, that post probably doesn't go viral.
No.
It's too bland.
Yeah.
So it is also his
Tactic.
his dickness
It's just,
that makes him,
it's just,
Yeah, but it doesn't turn off.
But keep
Like,
in mind,
it's like if you're a creator, you're a comedian, like you're on stage and you give the punchline, you're not like making fun of your like parents right after the show, are you?
no.
maybe if you're like, I can see like Louis C.K. doing that.
But I will say that same sort of sense of entitlement is what brought him here.
Yeah.
Like he entitlemented his way right into our mix
Yeah.
and essentially was very open about the fact that like, hey, I think I can gain from being around you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he says.
That was the pitch.
But what's the insecurity? Because he does well.
Yeah.
Is it because he's not like filthy rich yet?
No. I think it's the fact that he does well, but he hasn't got the validation from public. Like if he had an exit, I think he actually would tone down. Because then people are like, oh, Taylor's successful. But he also goes out of the way to try to act like some scrappy entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, if you got money, flex then, bro.
But okay, so when you first met him, he was still grinding and wasn't doing as well as he is now. Was he a dick then?
He was more arrogant then.
Wow, more arrogant.
Yeah. Because he thought whatever he was doing was right, and he wouldn't. The first time I met Taylor and Parker, they came into my office.
Parker doesn't seem like this, by the way.
No.
At all. Parker's like the nicest,
Yeah.
He just has a dog and
quiet,
stuff.
humble. Yeah.
And his girlfriend, they're just great people.
Yeah.
Taylor, on the other hand, he's a wild card.
Yeah.
Taylor and Parker walk in my office, start telling me about their business. And, Taylor was bragging about how much money he was spending on Facebook. And I just came out of spending an ungodly amount of money and it was not working anymore. And I told him, this is done. Don't do this. Like, start cutting your spend, focus on profitability. He pretty much boomered me and said, I don't know what I'm talking about. Full circle, a year comes by. They come to that same conclusion on their own. And they all changed their business model. They went through it and they figured it out. And, credit to them for figuring out their business.
Yeah.
But he's always had this thing of like, the arrogance that's underlying, which is also what makes you a good entrepreneur too, because you just don't listen to anybody.
Right.
Because then you'll keep trying things. But I think
But I think that's a flaw because I get the arrogance, but it's not like this is how if the arrogance you're talking about is the way a successful entrepreneur is.
Yeah.
He sits in that meeting with you,
Yeah.
and you tell him Facebook's stupid. He leaves the room and tells his partner Dee's an idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell you you're an idiot to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he just didn't listen to my advice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fuck you, Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the calmest, most well thought out, like
Yeah.
diss record.
Yeah.
We just sort of calmly broke down why he's an asshole. We spent the first 10 minutes calmly calling Taylor an asshole.
And I really like that he's not here to defend himself.
No, it's great. This is the better way to do it.
I'm a big believer, if you're going to talk shit about people, you do it behind their back. You don't do it to their face.
Well,
the
yeah.
problem with when you do it to people's faces, it's too like, you get ruffled. You don't know how to like if I had to sit here and just
Rattle
destroy
off.
him,
Yeah.
it's easier to do it when I don't have to see his face.
Right.
I don't feel bad.
You can just imagine it.
If I saw his face, I'll feel bad.
Right.
If you saw
Faceless
his face,
dissing.
his face makes you feel bad.
I'm a big shit talker as soon as you leave the room.
That's my
all
point.
offense.
You're supposed to. That's not being a dick. Like he should have just left the room and told Parker, "Dee's an idiot. He has no idea what he's talking about."
Yeah.
And then you're still likable.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Well, hey,
was hard.
I mean, the cool thing is,
I was trying to confront him yesterday and behind closed doors, and it was difficult.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but he kept
Yeah.
scrambling his way out every time.
He's like a Trump.
He's slippery.
he's Weasley. He's slippery. Yeah.
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 He-
What'd you
he-
call him? Schemy?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologized to Rob. I said, Rob,
On
to
what?
be honest, behind closed doors yesterday.
Oh, you're just hoping you heard.
You watch your 60 view show on YouTube.
Well, he listens to this still, right? So maybe he'll hear the apology. Here.
But I openly apologized and said, you're not the schemy one. Taylor's the schemy one.
Yeah,
Full
well,
on.
listen, similar to what Taylor's response is going to be, the platform just isn't strong enough, you know, and we're not going to hear it.
And Pete has 48 hours to decide whose side is he
I
on.
know
I
he
think
has
we
by the
already
end of this
decided that here.
episode, but he's
What's
already
that?
decided.
Said, I think we already decided that. Okay. About 10 minutes ago when my job got threatened.
Okay. All right. Quickly before the world news, sad news. Looks like Naya Rivera, the actress, is presumed dead and missing on a lake somewhere.
It's crazy. So in Ventura County, which is just north of LA, I got the alert and I was looking for the information last night, and it turned out her and her daughter or son were out at a lake, just the two of them on a boat. The child shows up sleeping on the boat, like it was just drifting, and I guess they found him. And he was like, I guess he's 4 years old, and he was like, oh, my mommy dived into the water or whatever and never came back. And they've now just assumed, I mean, this has been full 24 hours when we're talking right now. Like, I don't know how.
But what
Unless-
happens on a lake? Like, there's
Yeah.
not waves.
But you could, I mean,
I know, but like, how do you?
you could commit suicide.
Yeah. But like, you're gonna commit suicide by force drowning yourself in
It's-
a lake?
Yeah, that's what I don't get because
There's also that lake, by the way. Then someone starts posting. I have not verified any of this information of all the missing people from that lake. It's a crazy list too.
like Lake Tahoe I've been to.
Yeah.
It's pretty wavy.
Yeah, it's that's a big scary lake.
And like when you're in the middle on the boat, if like I weren't around a boat and a lot of people
Yeah.
and I jumped in and I was just by myself, I would get pretty scared.
Yeah, I think you get scared, but I just think you would live.
yeah,
Like, I think, you know, like you're not like lost at sea in currents and like stuff like that. I don't know. It almost feels to me like maybe, optimistic thinking, maybe she like had some sort of episode.
yeah,
and,
she
like,
just
ran off.
swam away.
Yeah.
That
And
possible.
she must be a great swimmer.
I don't know how big the lake is.
yeah,
Is it a big ass lake?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. This just feels crazy. I can't imagine being in a lake, falling off and drowning. That would also be the most insane, like miserable. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't imagine. I grew up on lakes.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine a scenario where you
could
would
drown.
drown in one unless there was some sort of foul play, or if you were committing suicide and you like strangled yourself and fell into the lake or something
Yeah.
like that.
Or could you have pulled a muscle while you were swimming?
It's just not on those, like any boat that you're in a lake on, like it's pretty easy to drag yourself up or at least hold on to. Like you can literally just hold on until someone comes by.
Is it?
There's
So
not,
I'm not a lake person, and I don't know how the dynamic is. But is it odd for a mother and son just to go to two people on a lake?
Slightly odd, only because, and maybe I'm judging here, she doesn't seem like a wilderness lakey person.
Yeah.
If she was,
If she was a
there's nothing
fisher or
weird.
whatever,
There's
yeah.
nothing weird at all. But for Naya Rivera to be out in the middle of a lake alone with just, I don't know. But also if you're going out there to commit suicide, why are you taking your 4-year-old? Aren't you going out to the lake alone and leaving the kid behind?
I mean, there's a lot of scary stories in the world.
Okay.
It sucks because that Glee show, which was so like huge, has had like a lot of tragic things happen to it.
Child stardom is.
Well, you mean like Cory Monteith, who was one of the stars of the show, which was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He overdosed, and like I remember hanging out with him all the time, and he was like the happiest,
Yeah.
normal dude.
Yep.
And I couldn't believe that someone like, you know, you obviously don't know what people are going through because, I mean, I wasn't close enough
I mean, you
where
never would have guessed.
guess that type of stuff happens, but it's just like crazy to hear, you know, these like younger mean, Naya Rivera is still pretty young, right?
Yeah.
Like in her 30s?
33, I think.
Yeah. It's just like insane that, I mean, if it was suicide or foul play, I mean, just even when I heard that the two of them were just on a lake, it just felt odd to me.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like I would never, and I'm not a lake person, but I would never just go me and Dom on a lake. Never.
Yeah, but you're just not a lake person.
I'm not against the lake.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think she, once again, who the fuck knows, but she doesn't strike me as a lake person either. But for those type of people, that's totally normal.
Yeah.
Interesting fact about Cory Monteith, Dee's good friend. It was about 11, 12 years ago. I had a roommate move out, and I needed someone to move in quickly, or I had to move out because the rent was too much. I couldn't cover it by myself. And Cory and Justin, who's best friend, were moving into a house in Hollywood, and they were looking for a roommate. Dee's like, my brother is in this like jam up. He can live with you guys.
Yeah.
This is like classic Hollywood story. We're at Las Palmas, the nightclub. Cory brings the lease. I signed the lease
In the club?
in the club. And then 48 hours, I just got cold feet. I was like, I don't belong in like this Hollywood house with like actors and God knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And I chickened out and just ate like another month or two of my lease until like a friend moved in.
Oh my gosh, you could have been in an episode of Entourage for like a
He
year.
took the house to Australia for New Year's. It's like a lot
my
of fun
God. Imagine where your life would be now had you made that tiny, like I'm not saying better, I'm saying maybe arguably worse, but like imagine if you just turned into like
you would have had a good run.
Hollywood party boy on
This is just
financial advisor to the stars.
amazing story of how I actually met Cory is Justin Neo, who at the time was working for H Wood, the nightclub. And he was, I think, a bartender at the club or a bar back, I forgot. And he sees me one night. This is Brian Toll and John Turgeon's first nightclub. Sees me, goes, hey, I love 5'4". I come to all your sample sales. We used to have these epic sample sales downtown. And he's like, yeah, I've been coming to your sample sales. I'm like, oh, cool. Here's my card. If you ever want anything, like, I got you. And he's like, cool. Never, ever hit me up. Not once. Most people hit me up the next day. Here are my sizes, address. Here you go.
Yeah.
Never hit me up once. Fast forward, a year goes by. And he goes, hey, I met you at H Wood. I have a friend who's in town. He is auditioning for something. He needs some gear. Can you hook him up?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't even ask who it was. Guy comes to my office. I give him some gear. He's like wants to know where to take his girl. He's going on a blind date. He wanted to know where to take a girl. I give him a couple of restaurant recommendations. Leaves. I don't hear from him. 3 months later, he hits me up and goes, hey, you gave me clothes for that audition. I actually got the role. I'd love for you to come to the premiere. I was like, okay, cool. So I went. It was at Santa Monica High School outside in the auditorium. They played the show, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's about to be a big star. It was the first episode of Glee.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, come over to my house. We're all throwing a party. So I go. It's a whole cast of Glee. Justin and Cory live together. And I go to Cory. I'm like, and Justin, I was like, can you do a campaign for 5'4"? He's like, yeah, of course. I got you. And I shot it right away, and I held the assets for 6 months because I knew this guy. When you watch the show, you knew it. It was going to be the biggest show.
Yeah.
I held it. We dropped the campaign. It was literally People Magazine, Life and Style, Us Weekly. It was like huge. We got millions of impressions off of it. He couldn't be the nicest guy. Had all this incredible success, but it was just like the guy that like introduced us was just like didn't take advantage, and so we felt comfortable. And then even afterwards,
he was a bona fide star when I would have lived with him. He wasn't like up and coming.
Yeah.
Like Glee was the biggest show in the country and all
I used to go to that house. The house is great.
Is it the same house I went to that one time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a beautiful house.
And he was covering most of the rent, as you'd imagine.
Yeah, you could
He
have
just
been,
wanted his friends around.
Yeah, you would have been Turtle.
Yeah.
You could have had
Like a
year.
limousine company.
A year as Turtle. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's what you get. The stories of living in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's hope that turns out. Let's hope she went on a hike.
Yeah.
News time. What's going on at Stanford? Stanford's cutting a lot of sports. It's a big issue. What's going? Football?
Football survived somehow. I was shocked that football survived.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the sports at Stanford that have been canceled for the 2020-2021 academic year are, here we go. Drum roll, please. Men's and women's fencing, field hockey, lightweight rowing, not heavyweight, lightweight.
Okay.
So the Winklevoss would survive.
Totally fine.
Men's rowing too. Co-ed and women's sailing, squash, synchronized swimming, men's volleyball, and wrestling. Only one I'm shocked is volleyball because I thought like Stanford seems like tall white guys. They're probably good at volleyball.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all the sports that parents pay to cheat their kids into Stanford.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what are they
tough.
gonna do
That's
now?
Oh,
gonna
my
be
kid's the
tough.
number one fencing. What is there, a fucking fencing
That's what I'm
sports
saying.
ranking system?
You can't lie about being on the football team.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they did at SC.
Yeah.
There's
Did
like
they?
a 5'8" kid who was this football recruit
Really?
and got in. Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
USC just
God.
has no, like, you know.
No shame.
no
No shame.
care.
Stanford has some, like, they're like, you know what? Why don't we just cut out all the sports that no one gives a shit about that we probably let kids in because their parents gave us money?
They should cancel some majors too. Why is art history a major? Get rid of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Not
There's
for
probably a lot
50
of
grand a
majors.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should just be engineering, math,
Yeah.
science, and whatever you have to do for pre-law school.
Stop lying to these kids. I wish they'd be like, yo, if you're going to come here, these are the only ones that might matter.
Yeah.
The rest, you're fucking wasting money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just listen to a podcast.
I'm sorry, like philosophy is great, but do that shit in your own time.
Yeah. You got a couple books you can buy. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Read like Eckhart Tolle.
There's like a starter pack. Listen to these 5 podcasts
Yeah.
weekly,
Yeah.
5 books every 2 months, and you're a philosopher.
You're totally fine. No need. Don't waste the money.
And it's interesting because so Stanford came out and said this. Ivy League canceled all sports for the year.
But that's because of Corona,
yeah.
not because they're.
Well, Stanford essentially it's a budgeting issue / Corona issue.
It's so funny budgeting. They have like the richest alumni. If they wanted to save these sports, and they have a $28 billion endowment, I think.
Yeah.
If they
They're
wanted to
sharks.
save it, they could save it.
Yeah.
Who's like a current young billionaire Stanford alumnus?
I mean, just throw a dart at Silicon Valley.
I'm sure one of those dorks.
Joe Lonsdale.
Okay, didn't he? Maybe he fenced. Ask him for money.
He probably doesn't give a fuck.
The only fence he wants is at the border.
Yeah. Around his mansion. Keep the homeless out. I don't. It seems like a lot of women's sports, though, no? Seems disproportionately.
No, there was a lot of co-ed.
Oh,
men's
maybe
rowing.
Sergey Brin and Larry Page.
Yeah,
the
well,
Ever heard of
founders of
them?
Google.
I think they're going to be like, you know what? The fencers were bullies
Reed
on campus.
Hastings.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's,
could see Elon as
Peter
a fencer.
Thiel,
yeah, me
Tiger
too.
Woods,
Well, they didn't cancel golf.
Yeah.
Kevin Systrom. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think here's the reality is that you don't need those sports. There's a lot of majors you don't need. This reckoning is very, very key. And I think it's just the beginning. Like, if the Stanfords and the Harvards start cutting, then what's going to happen to, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th tier colleges that really shouldn't exist?
cut
Forget
the
their
whole
sports
college.
programs.
Yeah.
They're just sucking money and life out of.
Yeah, I have to believe over the next. I mean, it seems to me like a similar trajectory to retail.
Yeah.
Like the top malls are going to cut reallocate their space. The bottom malls are going.
Yeah. And I
Some
think,
malls will exist.
yeah. And I think, and it just has to be more efficient. The schools just got fat in every sense. Like the way they were.
Oh, think about it. Easy money.
Such easy money. And they're doing the students a disservice. Like I took my senior year, half of my classes, because I essentially had enough credits to graduate my junior year. But I didn't want to tell my parents that because I wanted to I could have easily just forced maybe 1 or 2 more classes and be done.
You were just enjoying the vibe.
Yeah, the vibe's great.
Yeah,
I was starting my business. I was like, great.
Yeah.
So I took, for 1 year, multiple credits of basketball.
You could get credits
Yeah.
for that?
Yes.
You can
I
do
play-
basketball, tennis.
I had 2 basketball classes each semester.
And they just taught you.
And I played,
It
I
was
got
like having a
so
coach.
good at basketball my senior year of college. I mean, you're talking about I was playing 2-3 hours a day of basketball.
Wow.
And it was just running up and down.
So
like
I think
It's just like basketball
no,
practice every day.
So I think a class is 4 units.
Yeah.
And I think each unit, if you break down the math, is like $3,000.
Yeah.
And he was spending.
I spent $12,000 on basketball.
The most
Easily.
expensive basketball lessons.
Yeah.
in
I mean,
this
I
country.
took 1 year of basketball, not even one semester.
So $24,000. You could have just paid like the ninth guy on the Lakers. Like,
Just to
here's
train me.
$24,000.
Yeah,
Just train me.
for sure. Oh my God. What do you think the purpose was? That just because so many people were coming in, they're like, we have to just create more things that you can do here. Like, how did it get this?
Well, I think it's partially, I'm sure students started saying, you know what, I want to learn about art history. I want to learn about this. And they were like, okay, we're charging you $50,000. You could learn whatever the fuck you want to learn.
How obscure to like go there. You're not on the basketball team. You're not a basketball player. You have no future.
I played
More
basketball.
importantly, there's a free gym you have access to with multiple basketball.
But
No.
I
I want the $24,000 lesson.
By the way, when I was shooting free throws, the teacher was catching and throwing me the ball.
You got your own rebounder for
You're gonna pay
$24,000.
like a kid $100.
Yeah,
Like,
easy. Oh my God, that is wild.
was the teacher even good?
Teacher had a good shot. It was a fit.
But did he
But what
teach
do
you
you even
anything?
get?
Or
Like,
did
do
you
you get like a? What do you
No,
get?
like we did drills all day.
No, but what do you have anything to show for the fact that you're a USC educated basketball player?
No. I should get a certificate.
You should. That should mean something.
You should just tell people you're on the USC basketball team.
You should get a ring or something. Like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm certified.
ring?
It was
Not like a championship ring.
It was
A
so
little
fun. I
cheaper.
would literally go and change my clothes, go play 2 hours of basketball.
Oh my God. That's incredible. And they had
joke.
tennis too?
They had everything.
They had everything. You can
Karate,
go
whatever the fuck you want.
I would love to go to college right now. Like this, like even in my late 20s, I would have been better fit to go to college. I would have maximized the
Oh
experience.
yeah, there's badminton.
Yeah.
Because I remember
All the Indians.
there's a secret basketball court. If the main basketball court was too busy, we would find this secret basketball court, and they're like, "Oh, it's closed for a badminton class." And it's not like there's no professional badminton.
But
players.
there was so many
There was
cool-
ping pong.
Yeah.
There's a ping pong class. Now it's all coming
Sign
back.
me
I
up.
remember
Yeah.
seeing all this shit.
So does all that stuff still exist right now?
100%. Probably
for sure.
more. It's probably more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here's a meditation class, $25,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet you that. There's a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Sound bath or whatever the fuck that
there's-
is.
Mindfulness.
Sensory deprivation class. You
Here's
just
a-
sit and do nothing.
Or like a fasting class.
Yeah.
Just sit there and don't eat.
Don't eat.
That's $4,000. Thanks.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay. Well, gotta love college.
Yeah.
And then another college thing. What about Harvard and MIT? So I'm kind of out of the loop of this. Like, there's something going on with immigration and ICE and international students. And if you're not showing up in person, you're pulled out of the country. Is that the rule? And then so now Harvard and MIT are trying to find ways around it. Am I kind of on the right page?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the challenge is there's student visas that a lot of international students come on.
Yeah.
And so this new policy that they're trying to enforce, which says that if you are taking Zoom classes and not on campus, why do you have to be in the country?
Yeah.
Right? And so
But is that a tactic to force these schools to open up? Or is that just pure hatred of foreigners?
I don't know what the tactic here is. It just
I think anti-immigration, anti-foreigner, pro-nationalist is just a good thing for Republicans right now. And they threw this out there. But let's not get confused. There's a reason why MIT, Harvard, and everyone's
good
pissed.
for business.
If you leave the country, you're not paying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you get kicked out of Harvard or the U.S., you're not going to pony up $50,000.
Yeah.
Secondly, at USC, I remember a U.S.-born person had one tuition, and the foreigner had to pay a premium.
It was way
Really?
higher.
Yeah. So
They were early on the whole
USC is so
build the
early
wall
on
thing.
scheming.
Yeah.
This is what when you talk about schemerton.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
USC is the king of
I'm
it.
assuming it's the same at Harvard. I just know from USC because I had a lot of people that I was friends with.
I
that were
mean,
international
private
students.
institutions like USC, Harvard, Stanford have such a large international student population. I mean, USC had a campus like in China. I remember like
USC has the most international students because they knew it was good for business.
Yeah.
Like the dean and president would travel the world
convincing people.
going to show up to these countries, and the poor countries think like, oh my God, the USC teams here. Like, no, they're just trying to scam you for an extra 20%.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
And then I think this thing, what's interesting is that it's not good for business for any private college that relies heavily on international, because what happens is most of the international students that come to these colleges, especially like a Harvard, they're very wealthy families.
Yeah, you
They're
have to be so rich to come to the U.S. for undergraduate school. Graduate school is different because they take out debt because they know they're getting like a job at Amazon or something. If you're an undergrad international student, more than likely you're rich as shit.
Yeah, and they know that you're paying the full tuition.
No student aid.
Yeah, no student aid.
I heard that one college is doing like maybe it was Harvard.
I think it's NYU. They're giving one credit.
NYU, yeah, one credit in person.
Yeah.
To save everybody.
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
NYU is trying to come up with their own little scheme.
Like a world studies or like something super broad and weird. That's their scheme. That's a one credit.
That you do it in person so that they can't be deported.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
That they're
like we need that premium.
Yeah.
Yes. At all costs.
And I wonder. Yeah.
Protect the Chinese students.
Gosh, what a weird battle. What a weird battle that seems like it's over like right and wrong when actually it's over like.
It's money.
Yeah.
It's crazy how everything is about money.
It's not only that, it's the complete fraud that if you were just an average person, you would think these higher education institutions are like the holy grail of integrity and like, this is where presidents are educated. This is where,
very toss.
Full of shit.
Yep. I just can't believe that some of the biggest sharks in our country in business are these colleges.
Yes. Yeah.
Like ruthless.
Like you would never have guessed when you were in Ohio, if someone like said one of Harvard, Yale, you'd be like, that is the pillar of excellence.
The pillar of elite excellence and just integrity.
And there was, I didn't read the article, so this could be clickbaity, but I'm going to say it anyways. There was like some large percentage of Harvard students, I think it wanted to say like close to 50%, were like legacy family, accepted. Yeah. Like that's the reason they got
nepotism is huge at Ivy League.
Which also furthers the inequality gap.
Yeah.
Which also further erodes society when you're only letting...
the Kennedys and the Bushes. And
exactly.
Yeah, we got to burn it down.
Yeah. Got to burn it down.
Line it up. Mount Rushmore. Put it next.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about sort of switching gears? This like open letter, a letter on justice and open debate. Is this like an anti-cancel culture sentiment, or like what is this and who's involved?
So Harper's Magazine wrote like this editorial piece, and it kind of leads off with that our cultural institutions are facing a moment of trial. Powerful protests for racial and social justice are leading to overdue demands for police reform, along with wider calls for greater equality and inclusion across our society. And it goes on to say that like anything from journalism to people are really getting broken down and attacked for just kind of sharing information, speaking their point. But right now, there's a list of people, really famous people, that are definitely on both sides of the spectrum that have signed this as like, hey, we're all in this together. We need to protect the way people are able to speak. And so this thing goes super, super viral, especially among journalists. And then for whatever reason, like Malcolm Gladwell signed it, J.K. Rowling signed it. These like the craziest people signed it. Salman Rushdie, like crazy people. Gloria Steinem, like it's just a heavy hitter list of thought leaders and writers. And then for whatever reason, I guess on that list, there were a bunch of people that were supposedly anti-trans.
Well, people think that J.K. Rowling is.
Yes. Yeah. And so outside of her, there was some other folks.
Got it.
So that whole thing went to that community, and they were like, oh, you could speak freely, except you guys all bash you're anti-trans. And so it became this whole thing that like, this isn't what it actually should be, which I think is like really, really difficult. Put J.K. Rowling, I don't know all of her beliefs.
If you read the J.K. Rowling stuff, it is pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's meaning. In my opinion, it's simply a woman trying to find like sense in this. Like the last one that just happened last week was she said that some people start transitioning and start taking hormone therapy too early. And there's also detransitioners. And that we need to have a bigger discussion about mental health and all this stuff, not just trans and blindly like mow down everything.
Yeah.
And she got destroyed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I don't see the place where she is doing anything more than like offering her opinion or trying to figure it out.
Got it.
Have a discussion.
But I think in regards to that, in regards to just what's going on in society, it's the reason why, and I know we talked about this in regards to Taylor Lorenz, the New York Times writer. If we don't give journalism some sort of freedom, then it starts getting murky really, really, really quick. They obviously have to do their due diligence. They have to also, I also am okay with their opinions. There are opinion pieces in all these newspapers. I think the problem is that the moment anyone says anything, we just jump on everybody.
So I think this is actually a product of social media, Twitter specifically, that reporters became famous. If you asked anyone 10 years ago, who's the tech writer for the New York Times?
Totally.
Zero chance we would be able to name anyone.
There's famous writers, though.
They're famous political writers, but for the most part, journalism was sacred, I would say, for the most part, 10 to 15 years ago, because the story mattered, they didn't matter.
Yeah, I would say the shift is you used to love the New York Times and now you might love Jonathan,
Right.
the writer. You go directly to him.
And now that these reporters have become famous, they get confused of being part of the story versus reporting the story.
Yeah.
And then they're mini celebrities in whatever world they cover.
Yeah.
And then they get emotional. And then that's effectively what happened with the Taylor Lorenz thing.
Yeah.
She reported something and then she got emotional about it.
Yeah.
And then it got into a war.
Yeah.
You're not the story. If reporters actually reported, then people wouldn't be so up in arms against them.
Yeah. But I also think that the Taylors of the world have to, I think that what's going to happen is you're going to put out a story about a certain thing. You are going to get backlash. You have to know that you're not the story at that moment. It's on you to take yourself out of it.
Right.
Because as soon as you start responding and become the story, now you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
like,
get thrown in the whirlwind.
Yeah, I think the problem is like people can just say whatever they want on social media. And it looks, if you're that writer who's never experienced any level of like fame before, and you have all of this backlash to the piece you wrote and you're canceled and blah, 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 like you feel the need to fight that war. When really the best thing you can do is just like, hey, I just wrote the piece. I don't know.
Yeah, so like my extent of understanding how newsrooms work or what we've seen in the movies and TV shows, I have no idea if that's really how it is. But in the 90s and early 2000s, any movie that reflected a newsroom, there was like real passion about getting facts right.
Yeah.
Triple checking sources. And now it's just like, tweet it out. If it's right, it's right. If not, move on to the next tweet.
Yeah, I think now it's just more fueled by, you used to almost use facts and sources as your like metric, where now it's clicks and traffic.
Yes.
And so you're just like, fuck, we got to get it. We got to be first. Who cares if we're the truthist? We got to be first and get the most clicks.
And I'm sure it's incentive based. Like I'm sure a New York Times reporter that has 500,000 followers versus someone that has 50,000 followers is going to get paid more.
Yeah. And there's all these, I don't know, I haven't dug too deep into it, but there's all these articles and stuff about like how these organizations are just hiring really cheap people to just write, to just pump out content.
Yeah.
Just so you have enough to even keep the feed going.
Yeah.
And so you're just getting worse reporting because no real reporter based on facts and all this stuff can do it that quickly and that amount of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you're just
like-
getting shit.
Like if you took a Time magazine, which was a weekly thing, they were probably working on stories for weeks and months to develop what they would share to the world.
Yeah.
But we, in today's climate, we even get it. Like something happens in the news. They're like, all right, talk about it really quickly. Like, I don't even know what happened yet. We're already talking.
I mean, there's a
about
reason we feel like we have to do group chat 3 days a freaking week.
Yeah, because there's that much action happening, but it's really. But I just think we're entering this really crazy time period about free speech and between social media, what should they do, and then what latitude do we give writers? I don't know how it all ends up, but it's a very it's all like a murky time that is really going to dictate how a lot of things, I think, happen politically, happen in just our daily life. Because if this cancel train also keeps going on, I actually think the cancel culture will actually go away.
I think it just has to implode.
Yeah.
It just loses any power.
Yeah.
Like, look at fucking Portnoy, man. Everyone should just take a note. And I'm not saying, because people actually wrote me about this, I'm not saying that what he did was fully right.
Yeah.
Yes, I do like him. We all like him. So it's going to sound like we're supporting and saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. But I also don't think that digging up things from the past and trying to just cancel and destroy somebody is right either.
Yeah.
My point is, a week later, you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Where's the...
Well, you know what he did, which I like actually respect? So he did his first rant, like, I'm going to say, I'm not apologizing, shit, whatever. And then apparently within Barstool, black employees voiced up, and he revised his whole take.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to make sure Barstool is the most inclusive, empowering place. I disappointed some of my employees. I want you to know I have your back.
Yeah.
Who would
to
do
me, that whole thing was
no one
handled
would do
right.
that.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And he got backlash for that because then employees quit. And then, whatever.
What I like is he did it too with the same, like he went back to talking on his phone, out on Instagram. Like it wasn't some like, oh, I'm going to be so outspoken about this. And then on this is going to be like an internal memo.
Yeah.
Like he owned it. But my point is I think Kevin Hart did it too with the Oscar stuff. Like he just said, fuck off.
Yeah.
I have apologized. I do apologize, but you're not going to cancel me.
Yeah.
It almost just seems like it's up to these people to not.
You can't give in.
You can't give into it, man. It's
like
not.
Once it happens, if you did something wrong, acknowledge it, apologize if you feel like you've done something wrong, and then you need to push forward and to go on. Because when you retreat, I think it's weak, unfortunately. Yep. And that's just the society we live in, because we've all made mistakes in previous lives that like we regret, and if they were to come out today, everyone would be canceled. We'd all be canceled. Yep. I've said and done stupid shit in my 20s that I never want people to know about. Yep. That's just reality. But like it happened, and like
that's everyone. That's every one of your heroes,
yes.
every one of your stars,
yeah.
every single one. And I also think it's really dangerous to allow canceling to work, because you can't always imagine that forever in history, in the future, the cancelers will have the best intentions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anger in there too, and there's a lot of hate in there too.
It's jealousy.
It's not everyone just trying to clean up the world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of whatever.
Well, yeah, a lot of people like, I want to take that person down, that mindset. And that's what's scary in journalism, when you get people fixated on trying to bring people down.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it is so interesting, because like you said, it's the journalists have a thing, the cancel people have a thing. All the social media platforms have to kind of figure out where they stand on letting these things happen. All of these organizations have to figure out who they fire. Mm-hmm. You know, at what point do you do that? It's a crazy time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really crazy.
All right. Looks like good news. We are all going to get to look, and we're going to get to talk about it on the podcast, Donald Trump's financial records. Actually, lies in Russia.
We're not going to get to see anything. Only the Attorney General will get to take a peek.
Does he post a blog about it or anything?
What?
We get like a highlight?
Yeah. Look, the Supreme Court said that I think it's the Attorney General of New York that gets to take a peek in relation to a I don't remember. I think in relation to paying off the Stormy Daniels and another person, but the House Democrats want it. They want to see it. The Supreme Court did not allow that.
Has every president shown it?
Tax return? I think it's
modern
pretty.
times?
I think so.
Every modern.
Yeah. I know Obama's would, but he wasn't a business guy before. He was always an activist or politician, so he had nothing to hide.
Yeah. I'm sure almost most presidents.
And his payday was his book pre-presidency.
Yeah.
So that was how he became a millionaire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, if this actually gets shown, then we'll see if there's any payments made. And the thing is it's July. The Supreme Court gave this ruling. He's going to appeal it. It's not going to happen before the election.
Mm-hmm.
And
No
this is
chance.
a waste of energy, waste of time. This is stupid. Give up on the tax returns.
I'll tell you why.
And it's not going to matter. What would the Mueller report do?
no, but
We found everything that was criminal about him.
you're
It
right,
doesn't
you're right.
matter.
yeah.
It'd have to be so crazy. It'd have
So
to be.
the only reason why you do it now, and look, if the Supreme Court is pretty much Trump's court, so the fact that they ruled against him, there may not be anything in these tax returns. That could be one thing that they may discover. Is that why it's all a charade? It may be some embarrassing things, but maybe there's nothing illegal.
I'm guessing it looks similar to Jeffrey Epstein's in the Deutsche Bank. Problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more of that than anything. I don't. We'll find out if there's anything beyond that. The thing is if you believe Donald Trump has, how like people say like, Trump, even if Trump leaves, Trumpism is still here to stay.
Yeah.
So for the, sake of the country, you almost can't let go of this, because if he did something wrong, you have to prove it in the court of public opinion. Because right now he's Teflon Don. Everything he's just doesn't matter. You did something, doesn't matter. But if we later find out there's all these payments, all these things that were covered up, even if it's a year from now and he's not the president, he's going to have an enormous amount of influence and power still. If he, first week of November or first week of January, leaves the White House, he's going to go to OANN and become the president and still have like incredible amount of power. So it's important that like you still pursue this. It may not be House Democrats that need to pursue it, because I agree they could be doing better things for the country, but someone has to keep attacking this.
I agreed. Pursue it
Put
November
AOC
4th.
on it.
Yeah, she's not doing anything else.
Yeah, throw her on.
Who put it on?
AOC.
November 4th, go after it.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Wikipedia says before Trump's election, every elected president from Richard Nixon onward has released his tax returns annually, while President Nixon himself released his tax returns despite them being under audit. Also, all major presidential nominees from 1976 onward have released their tax returns.
Even nominees.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, the simple fact he won't release it should be the thing.
I actually think the reason why he's not releasing it, because it's going to be very clear he's not a billionaire.
That's what I think.
And that's embarrassing to him.
I think
because he's probably worth a few $100 million. That's what everyone assumes. He's not worth a billionaire. If he's no longer the billionaire investor,
True. That's his whole
genius.
thing.
What if he was worth like 10 mil?
Oh, can you imagine like Andrew Yang?
Yeah.
You find out he's worth a couple mil.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Yang wasn't even that.
No,
Andrew Yang was looking at a $500,000 house.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Poor bastard.
How are you going to give everyone $1,000?
Yeah, you can't give yourself.
Oh man, it's fucked up. Okay, let's talk about frickin' Kanye, man. So we want to talk about Kanye did this interview with Forbes, which a lot came out. But also, I saw this morning a report that people close to Yeezus are saying he's having a severe bipolar episode. Mm-hmm. He usually has them about once a year, which seems about right, given the press coverage. And that they're worried that some of the things he's saying and doing is because of this.
So before we address that part of it,
Yep.
those that have not heard about this interview, he did an interview for Forbes. It is very interesting, his takes on his political kind of takes. He starts off with he's running for president under a new banner, the birthday party, because everyone loves birthdays. So that's his party he's going after.
I mean, that alone is like, all right, let's pack it up.
Yeah.
Let's take the phone.
He no longer supports Trump. I'm taking the red hat off. He's okay with siphoning off black votes from the Democratic nominee, thus helping Trump. I'm not denying it. I just told you. To say that the black vote is democratic is a form of racism and white supremacy. He's never voted in his life.
Oh my God.
He was sick with COVID in February.
So he says.
And he's suspicious of a coronavirus vaccine.
But he's an anti-vaxxer.
And he's an
he's an
anti-vaxxer.
anti-vaxxer.
He also believes Planned Parenthoods have been
Yes.
placed inside cities by white supremacists to do the devil's work.
So I don't think
Wait, I'm not done yet. Then he also envisions a White House organizational model based on the secret country of Wakanda. If you haven't heard of Wakanda, it is the country in Black Panther.
it's a good movie.
Take the phone.
And then he said on China, when I become president, let me make some promises. The NBA will open all the way back up from Nigeria to Nanjing, and the world will see the greatest athletes play. So Kanye loves NBA. The world will experience the change in their element. The money is going to come back. I love China. I love China. It's not China's fault, that disease. It's not the Chinese people's fault. They're God's people also. I love China.
They got to have a room where they just put him in and like be like, yo, it's best for all of us.
He even said, I remember someone had told me Drake had the coronavirus, and my response was Drake can't be sicker than me. Even his
He didn't say that. He said that?
Yes.
Oh.
And let's be clear, if he had it in February, he has no idea if he had coronavirus because no one was testing in February.
No, I think it's all like everyone, everyone that had like the little
flu?
sniffles in February, and like, I definitely had it. I mean, I said that.
Yeah.
He did that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's I want to pick apart some details.
Yeah.
Is he an anti-corona vaccinator or he's an anti-vaccinator?
He's anti-vaxxer.
But his kids, we know firsthand, are at schools and playgrounds where you cannot
Oh, they're vaxxed.
participate
Yeah.
if you're...
He doesn't know what the fuck has happened to his
Yeah.
kid. He doesn't know. What do you think? He's like, babe, did we vaccinate?
Look at
I just
this.
did this interview where I said like, fuck vaccine.
I'm going to tell you what he said on vaccines. I'm going to read the whole thing. On vaccines. It's so many of our children that are being vaccinated and paralyzed. So when they say the way we're going to fix COVID is with a vaccine, I'm extremely cautious. That's the mark of the beast. They want to put chips inside of us. They want to do all kinds of things to make it where we can't cross the gates of heaven. I'm sorry when I say they, the humans that have the devil inside them. And the saddest thing is that we all won't make it to heaven, that there'll be some of us that don't make it. Next question. So one of the other things that's interesting is his family's coming out and saying that this is the quote-unquote bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
My feeling is that's bullshit, that they're just doing that because they know this is not good for business.
Yeah.
It's not good for the West Kardashian-Jenner business, right? They don't want to be affiliated with this. So it's easier to go out and say this. Do you believe this is a bipolar thing, or do you actually think how he thinks?
Might sound really fucked up to some people. I'm not saying I don't believe that Kanye doesn't have mental health issues, because I think he clearly does, but I think that...
What about this particular instance?
I'm just saying, I think that anytime this happens, they say that. When he ranted the first time about Trump on stage at the end of his tour, they said, oh, he had a breakdown. He was in the hospital and blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that this is just him.
Yeah.
Is there a time, does he snap out of this and say, whoa, that was wild. I'm sorry, guys. I don't believe any of that. I don't know. I've never heard that interview.
So the only thing that we have as a reference point is that he said this previously, or people around him have said it, that when he's trying to be creative or do music, he's not on his medication.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So he's coming out with a lot of music. He's coming out with a lot of creative projects.
But where is the interview? Where's the interview where Kanye makes much more sense about I know he's been interviewed before about kind of like bland topics.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like all you ever really hear from him are like these crazy, outlandish things. I'm trying to think. Maybe the one with him and Charlemagne was like kind of mellow.
Yeah.
But this just seems like this is just you.
Yeah.
You're just fucking out there.
And if the family really cared about him and he really had mental health issues, they would, hey, keep him away from the public eye.
Yeah.
Keep him off the show. Keep him off all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this family. I'm Team D'Amelio. Let's get them.
Wow.
Replace
There it
them.
is.
Yeah.
Next
There
up.
it is.
Yeah.
Next up. Put him in line.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this is going to continue to be a...
The family's made billions. They're all billionaires, apparently.
Yeah.
Pack
Apparently.
it up. Go home.
They got
Yeah.
PPP.
You got your PPP. You got your billions. Just chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a bummer. It's such a bummer. No, it's just a bummer. Like, I don't know. I was listening to College Dropout the other day, and it was such a important part of my childhood, and it's a fucking bummer that it's this wild. Even Elon Musk, who is all in for the fuckery, had the funniest tweet.
Yeah, he said,
"I'm running for president."
You have
Elon
my full
says,
support.
Full support. You read it. You have it.
So Kanye obviously announces. Elon says, "You have my full support."
Yeah.
The next day, we may have more differences of opinion than I anticipated.
I mean,
He's just the ultimate troll. He's just trolling all day.
Yeah.
It's working, man.
It's so funny because do people not realize like he's creating the joke, Elon? Are they actually like live and die by all the fuckery that he's doing?
But both. I mean,
Like they don't realize he's just fucking with the whole world constantly.
No. Not the they you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, they're like Trump. They're like Trump supporters. The real Elon fan
And he's just laughing.
loves it. I mean, we know kind of what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm a big fan of it, and I think my next car is going to be a Tesla. I just think
So it's working.
I think with Kanye, I feel about Elon the way some people feel about Kanye.
Yeah.
Which is like it's so wild that we even have such a genius that's able to do all these things that like I'll just take the fuckery. You know? Kanye, I don't think look, I do think he's a genius. I think he's created great things. I don't think what he's doing validates the level of crazy.
Yeah, because the Elon fan probably thinks he really wants Kanye to be president. He's just like, man, this is gonna be so funny.
Yeah. Like, watch what's gonna happen to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of which, that last Kanye song was fucking Cricket Town.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even hear about it anymore.
No, it's done.
Meanwhile, Tesla stock
Through the roof.
through the roof, and he probably sold more short shorts than Kanye did singles.
Yeah.
It crashed the site, so I'd imagine so.
Okay, time to take a break.
Oh yeah.
Pete,
Best
you know
time
what
of
to
the
do.
pod.
You know what to do. Annoy everybody.
You know what to do. Annoy everyone with your ad voice, and maybe run an ad for Taylor.
Maybe have Taylor read the next ad. Low conversions.
See, I told you guys it didn't work. All right, guys, welcome back to the ad portion of this podcast. I know this episode is a long one, but just for you, we have some exciting news. If you guys paid attention, we were running a contest with Pierre Kana over on our Instagram page. We wanted to hear what makes you soar, and we wanted to give away 3 boxes to Pierre Kana. So I went on there and I found my winners. I have 3 winners. Hey, Cam Bowers, you are one winner. Lex, the number 1, NE, you are winner number 2, and Emily Bra, you are winner number 3. Guys, Pierre Kana has the highest quality CBD products from everything from their gummies, which I love, which are great to take after a long day, just to chill out a little bit, just to sit back, relax, enjoy yourself, and have a little bit of rest time. I don't know where the accent comes from, but just keep going, okay? Then their CBD cream is really, really great for recovery. As you guys have heard before, Dee has used it, especially with training for the half marathon that they just recently ran. Great on the knees, great on the joints, speeds up recovery a little bit. So, if you weren't one of the winners, I'm sorry. We're going to do more contests in the future, but we still have a great promo code. If you head over to pierkana.com, use the code GroupChat20, 20% off your order. You can't beat it. High quality CBD and 20% off. That's a win-win, as the folks would say around here. Okay, let's get back to the episode and not make this any bit longer of an episode than it already is. Bye.
Okay, we're back. Gosh, I mean, I have some terrible news here.
Oh, wow.
I really want everyone to just kind of take a seat if you're not already. If you're at the gym or whatever, just sit down. If you're driving, maybe pull over. It looks like by the end of this week, TikTok could be gone.
Yeah.
Forever. I'm sorry to have to bring this to the world. They're saying that China experts are saying that they expect Trump to ban. Apparently, Trump's getting a lot of pressure. It's going around on TikTok. I saw it last night. People are starting to hit them.
Yeah.
People are starting to shout out their Instagram pages
and their YouTubes.
in their YouTubes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone there. They know.
All the top accounts on TikTok right now are plugging, like even like the dog, like the weird dog account. Like, it's okay, you can follow me on Instagram. So they're saying maybe by the end of the week.
I can't believe how much you consume on TikTok.
I consume a good amount.
I did a deep dive yesterday.
Yeah.
And I know I'm old. I'm not the demo.
Yeah.
But you're not that much younger than me.
No, I'm not the demo either. I have no excuse. I would say at least 30 minutes, maybe 45, and I have definitely went an hour a night.
Oh, that's weak.
You know how many videos is there? 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So are 3.
Yeah, I would say at
So,
least.
like you said, it's just like.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would say at least 30 minutes a night before bed. I usually am turning off my whatever I was watching or if I was reading or whatever, and I soak in some TikTok.
So you're reading some like book by some
I'm
brilliant
currently
dude.
reading the biography of Frederick Douglass, and I turn that off to watch something a little different.
Oh my God.
You gotta like.
I
you
have
gotta
plenty
loosen
of
it up.
guilty pleasures myself. So.
Yeah.
I just know, I think too, like right now I don't have a show or anything like that. I know that I can always go to TikTok and get some purely mindless BS. So I'm going to be pretty hurt. It's going to disrupt the last 30 minutes of my day.
So I actually think this is going to accelerate, and here's why. So I went on the App Store today, and the number 2 app in the App Store is the official Trump 2020 app. Okay?
Really?
But then there's apparently a TikTok challenge to rate it 1 star. So they drove the app to the top of the App Store, and if you look at it, it's rated 1 star, and they're all shitting on it in the comments. You think
If
McDonald's...
he really knows that that's what's happening, it's gone today.
Yeah.
Oh my God, TikTok, they're good at that shit.
So do we want to preserve American civil liberties or get Trump out of office? Those are the 2 choices we have to make.
I know. It's always nuanced. It's never black and white.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I just can't imagine. I mean, TikTok is a full-on big piece of a generation.
Oh yeah.
Like these kids are gonna be devastated. It's like taking away like cable television.
Yeah.
It's like taking away the
70s.
NFL and NBA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For those kids,
Probably bigger.
100%. Charlie D'Amelio is LeBron. The whole cast is all your.
It's probably, I mean, at least NFL, NBA, you have seasons. We have to deal without it.
Yeah.
TikTok, you don't.
No.
You don't.
They're just injecting it into their veins.
Yeah, dancing their way.
Yep.
The number 1 app in the App Store right now is an app called Byte, BYTE. So TikTok is owned by ByteDance. It is not affiliated apparently with ByteDance.
One of my close friends put in our group chat. He was a seed investor in Byte. Back at last week. Or
What's
last
Byte
year.
do?
So now this is the hot new app that I think. So what's
The
happening
founder of
is
Vine
like
created Byte.
okay.
So it's not ByteDance.
No.
But they just spell it.
Smart.
Yeah, it's just people don't know. And then, interesting enough, in India, Triller is the number 1 app. So you're seeing people. The Indians have panicked. They've gone to Triller. Americans are going to Byte.
I mean, you want to talk about Zuckerberg's biggest fumble here?
He just closed Lasso last week.
Oh, Lasso.
Lasso was their TikTok. He just was a week too.
I mean, you're the king of thievery, and here's your perfect opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, Lasso itself is just a shitty.
I think he just knows, okay, let the U.S. ban TikTok. Get it out of there. There's going to be a bunch of shitty
Versions of
wannabes.
it, yeah.
Then I'll just wait it out.
Yeah. Throw up $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, I think
Because he
it's-
can't compete with TikTok. There's nothing Facebook can create with the current version of TikTok that they
Yeah.
can compete with. It's just not possible.
Yeah, you're right. Byte app. Yeah, this is weird.
But I think they need to. I mean, Trump has to shut this app down. Because the thing is, there's a lot of people that are not supporters of him, like myself, who just think this is so stupid. We're in a cold war with China.
Yeah.
Like
I hate to say it because I don't want it to go. It is really stupid.
Yeah.
To have it.
I mean, like China is literally kicking our ass left and right in every aspect, in every industry and everything.
Yeah.
And fuck it. Let ByteDance go to 0. Fuck them.
ByteDance is privately trading at $150 billion. Everyone thinks whenever they go public, it'll be like a $250 billion company. If TikTok is banned in the US and India...
worthless.
No, they have other apps. It's probably worth half. Because it was like $75 billion pre-TikTok.
Okay. I mean, it's TikTok. They have games, right? Just
Yeah,
ban
there's a bunch
all
of
of the
other stuff.
games. Ban everything to do with ByteDance off this country. Why not?
I don't think any other product... It's like all China-based, like news apps and different shit.
Cool. They can stay there.
What happens with U.S. investors? Should U.S. investors be allowed to invest in Chinese companies? Like all of Silicon Valley's invested in every single one of these.
I think you know what has to happen is there needs to be more transparency in what's going on in society. For example, Amazon announced today, so you know, like if you're a seller on Amazon, we don't even know where the person is based, where it's shipping from, you know nothing, right? So many times Chinese sellers have overtaken Amazon, accounts. So Amazon announced today, starting September 1st, all sellers have to put their address in their profile page. So people know, where am I buying from? Who am I buying from?
Yeah.
This is the problem with the internet in general. Social media, no transparency. Internet in general, there's hardly any transparency. Investing, the thing about PPP that I liked was that we got to know everyone who got it. I don't really care if you took it or not, but it's nice to know.
Yeah.
I think there just needs to be more transparency in financial institutions in general. So if we find out Disney's making the biggest investments in China, it's up to the consumer to decide if they care or not.
Right.
It's up to if Nike's big into China and they believe and that's their business, we should have a right to know and make it more transparent. Not we have to dig through 40 pages of their fucking filing to figure it out.
Journalists going to these factories to find out if kids are working or
Yeah.
prisoners.
Yeah.
Because that's like a thing. Forget
Yeah.
the kids, like prisoners.
Yeah.
Prison labor.
Of course, it's huge.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. What the fuck is Dogecoin? Is this one of those new scams?
Another TikTok.
I thought this is a TikTok thing, right?
Yep.
But not owned by TikTok. It's just promoted by the talkers?
It's completely promoted by the talkers. And Dogecoin is some dodgy crypto.
The founder of Dogecoin said when he created it, this is a spoof. This is a joke.
Yeah. Shiba
TikTok.
Inu is the mascot of the Dogecoin.
The dog.
Dog.
Okay. I saw Dave Portnoy talking about this with the Wiggle Dicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just another one of these things.
Which I actually found fascinating because the Wiggle Dick didn't know what Dogecoin was.
He had no idea.
Because Portnoy was like, are you behind the Dogecoin?
It's the management, though, Like if
These
your
kids,
manager
so
didn't...
these kids have no idea what they're doing.
No.
Zero idea.
So they're not even consuming TikTok because apparently it's all that was on TikTok.
Those kids are having sex.
Yeah, clearly. All
They
they
don't
are
have
is fucking
time.
each other's girlfriends.
Yes.
I was like blown away. That's like being in the NBA and not knowing like, hey, there's this big Greek guy in Milwaukee that's just like really good.
Yeah. Like what? Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know anything. It's literally just, all these kids, it's like that house structure. Like you have a manager, you have all the people signed, he or she decides what you're going to promote. You do your job.
Yeah.
Wait for your dividends.
Yeah. You do your 4 dances. Okay, Josh, you're up.
Yep.
Hit the whoa, do the Dougie, do the Savage. Next. Go
Then
have
next.
lunch now.
There you go. You got $1,200.
Far removed from TikTok as possible until yesterday.
Yep.
And when I watched the interview, I could not believe that kid didn't know what Dogecoin was.
So for people that don't know, Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool, interviewed this kid Josh something.
Richards,
one of the TikTok kids who's in rivalry with Lil Huddy.
Yep.
And it was hysterical because it's like, Dave's like 40-year-old guy just trying to figure out.
It was funny
the
how
lay
like
of the
awkward
land.
it was.
Yeah, it was the lay of the land of like what's going on here. And
it's funny because I never viewed Dave Portnoy as like an old looking dude.
Yeah.
But compared to that guy, I was like, whoa.
I was like, damn, he's old.
He's old. He just,
that
like,
means
washed.
we're old.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
Because we look at him as just like a peer.
Yeah.
When you see him up against an 18-year-old, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he asked him about the hair because the hair was a big thing.
Big topic.
And he's like, what do you do with your hair? He's like, nah, just wake up. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Just wake up.
It was good. It was literally like a human and an alien talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
It
was-
literally, like, I felt like significantly dumber for watching it, but
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed
I
it.
watched it front to back.
Yeah.
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 I also felt my age
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so thoroughly.
Yeah.
especially just listening to this kid talk. He's so aloof. He's so like
no clue what's going on.
Not a care in the fucking
It's almost
world.
like, man, it's like these child stars that are just like going through the motions. They have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Just, it's like, man, it's just going to be a sad ending for most.
Yeah. Because I remember early on in Short Story Long, I tried to interview a couple like influencers or YouTubers, and I was blown away by the no diss to them, but like, it's not like they knew that social media was an opportunity and took advantage of it. It just sort of happened. It's
yeah.
like you were on the app like everyone else was on the app.
and yours just took up.
Girls start loving you. Then you connect with other TikTokers. You guys start, it just happened. So now you're in this position where like you live in this mansion in Los Angeles. Your management tells you what to do every single day. All you have to worry about is wiggling your dick and fucking your friends' girlfriends.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, my friend has a new girlfriend? Cool, I'll go have sex with her.
Yeah.
Okay, day's
He's
over.
like, fuck
All right.
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin? All right.
Yeah, why does he care about Dogecoin or it getting banned? He's screwing all his friends' girlfriends.
Yeah.
With no consequences.
I
What a
was
life.
talking to Pete about this. So like pre-Instagram, if you were famous, you were either like an athlete, artist, an actor for the most part.
Yep.
Those are the people everyone looked up to. Then Instagram came and created this whole new version of celebrity. But in my opinion, the Instagram celebrity actually had to work for it. So like the bloggers that became super influential were actually like curating their clothes, curating design, posting from like all these different places. And even the travel bloggers who got big, they actually went to around the world and taking photos and whatnot. And then we've just eliminated all of that to TikTok, where these clips are 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a 20-second curated. You can't even do 20 seconds.
Yeah. No.
No,
Why
because
would you
one, the
bother?
attention span of the audience. When I go on TikTok, I'm like, next. 1 second.
Yeah.
If I don't like
Well,
the
you gotta
song,
do that.
I hear the first part. You know what song?
But trust me, bro, do that for one day and then come back the next day and it's like everything's perfect.
The one song that has made me, I'm obsessed with the song, because I went on TikTok 2 weeks ago and I get served a lot of Jason Derulo. I'm a Jason Derulo fan, apparently.
Yeah.
So I got, now that song, Savage Love.
But you know what he did is he took a sound that was just that melody, blew up on TikTok, and then he made a song to that sound.
Yeah.
So just that, it was a popular dance that everyone was doing to that sound.
literally
and
just goes.
And he went and made a song.
Yes.
So do the stars?
And now it's like
That's it.
on the iTunes top chart.
That little beat.
Yeah, that song.
I'm obsessed with it. Dom and I dance to it every day now. We're like, Savage
Yeah.
Love.
But here's a question: do the stars at least make the moves? Are they copying the
No,
moves?
they're
as well?
copying the
No,
moves.
it's all copied.
They're not the ones doing
no.
the like.
No, watch.
bang,
If you watch,
Not even Charlie. They start crediting.
They credit the choreographer.
Because they got called out. Because it's usually a young black girl.
Yeah, it's always a black girl that does it.
Yeah, and they steal it. And it's like, literally, there's like a girl that is famous now on TikTok because she's the girl who created the Renegade dance.
Like at least Shiggy got credit. That's his name, right?
Yep.
Who did
Shiggy,
the Drake dance?
Yep. No. They don't. They
Well,
get
now they have to credit.
Okay.
culture appropriated.
Yeah.
Real quick over
Yeah.
there. The little white girls put that in their living rooms.
It's ironically of TikTok, all the stars are suburban white kids. It's 100% black music.
Yep.
Created by black kids dancing.
Black dances.
and there's no black
I noticed all the stars
It's fucked up.
when I did my deep dive yesterday that they all put the Black Lives Matter though.
Yeah,
on
they
the
all
little
do.
logo.
They all do.
I mean, they're literally stealing the culture.
I mean,
Just put that logo, boom.
Boo. It's and there's all these rumors and stuff that might be true that TikTok throttles black creators.
Well, 100%, I believe that because Chinese people are like the most homogenous.
Yeah, it's basically like network television 20 years ago. No minorities, no black people.
It is.
Oh, you're Muslim? No chance you're
It
getting
is.
any feature on this app.
No way.
Yeah, is there a famous Muslim TikToker? They're imprisoning
no.
2
No
million of them.
No chance. No. I've heard that they
That's why
legitimately.
Indians loved it. The Hindu Indians just snuck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only reason why Trump might want to keep it.
Yeah.
It's saying if white America is your goal, you got an ally.
TikTok feels so white to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I heard that they
But there's
throttle
no,
it.
I believe that now.
No,
But
I
you'll never
believe it.
know, but that's the
It makes sense. I mean, you don't have to be like, you don't have to think too hard about it.
Yeah.
Now that you bring it up, I wouldn't have realized it unless you brought it up.
I do
But
get
that's
served
the
a lot
power of like
yeah.
being able to create a world and then you think that's the world. That's just what happened when that's what was created. What did you say?
I do get served a lot of Indians.
Because Indian TikTok was huge.
Yeah. I haven't gone on in a couple of days, so I don't know.
They all have their own, like China, I think it's Chinese TikTok has its own like style.
Got it.
And yeah, it's influenced by US and probably vice versa, but India had a
Sorry. That was TikTok.
Pornhub acting up again.
I was just going to see.
But yeah, India had its own style. That was
I've assumed Chinese TikTok's all K-pop, right? It has to be.
a lot of K-pop, but they have like these weird, they have like transformation video where like you're wearing grungy clothes and then you snap and you're all done
Right.
up, but it's like the Chinese version. It's just different, like the way that they see the world.
At least that takes like 5-10 minutes to put together.
Yeah.
Because you have to change the outfit.
You know who I get served a lot? I'm sorry to drag on this conversation. I get served a lot this female Chinese skateboarder.
Really?
She's incredible.
Wow.
I think
Yes.
when I opened the app, was it a colorful skateboard with a colorful outfit?
And yeah, and she's like crazy scenery in the background.
And
I
she's
saw
good
that.
at skateboarding?
Incredible at skateboarding, great music. She's literally the first person I see all the time when I go on TikTok.
Well, there you go. Now we know you're what you're into.
Yeah.
Chinese skateboarders.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is when it comes to dodginess is Dan Bilzerian's Ignite cannabis company says lost $50 million last year and will likely collapse.
So, especially if you live in LA or were on Instagram the last couple of years,
Yep.
many of you were, you saw Dan Bilzerian and a lot of very good-looking women pushing Ignite.
Yep.
Ignite was a cannabis company that was founded by Dan Bilzerian. He went public in Canada. He pocketed $25 million off the IPO, got $20 million of debt, convertible debt. Then he got another $23 million in promissory note. And he pretty much lit it on fire, literally ignited it on a fire.
He sure did.
And the company has some like paltry amount of revenue, like I think it's $10 million in sales.
Insane.
He threw parties, he threw those epic parties.
He has that house in Bel Air that's like
Yeah,
that's like the Ignite house.
exactly. And so here's the thing. Whenever you see something like this, it's usually fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do we ever see the guy going out and spending money, living this lavish life and all this type of shit happening. And it turns out that it's normal.
But this money's more recent. I always understood that Bilzerian just inherited a bunch of money and was a fake poker player.
I believe that's the thing. He denies that though. So nobody really knows, I don't think. He says he's a self-made
Poker star?
poker star, made millions and millions of dollars. I haven't read enough into it or articles or whatever to like where but I think that the common thought is it was inherited and then he played some poker.
He said he gave the money to his brother. He didn't inherit anything, supposedly.
But that's like
That
such a
does not sound
convenient,
believable at all.
like, God damn it. He to me is the internet generation's biggest scammer or whatever you want to call it. I don't know that it's a straight scam, but like faker.
He's like this generation's kind of Jeffrey Epstein-y.
I don't know if I'd go that.
He's
But I don't know
so
if he's
diet
like-
Jolo.
No, but
I
I'm
don't
saying
want to
actually-
ever give him the credit of being Jolo because Jolo stole $8 billion.
Yeah, Diet
but he's
Jolo.
so diet Jolo. It's like 50 million stealing here, 25 million here.
Yeah. Child's play.
That's fine.
It is Jolo-ish.
And he threw a lot of parties, the women.
And the girls are downgraded from what Jolo was hanging out
Yeah.
with.
But the
Jolo
big
was hanging out with
difference is-
A-list stars.
But Jolo is an idiot, but I mean that because he flaunted it so much. But there was nothing on social media.
Yeah.
The girls weren't allowed to post and stuff. This guy is like the social media version.
Yeah.
I just can't believe this level and for this long. Like this run has lasted a long time.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. Internationally, he probably doesn't even realize how famous he is. You know, people I know
Yes.
that come from out of the country. Like, do you know that Dan Bilzerian guy? I was like, who? He's not even on my radar here.
Yeah. Think about it. This big guy with guns and hot girls. That's what people think of America. Big
is.
buff guy with big guns.
Throwing porn stars in pools.
Yeah. And
America.
a bunch of blondes with big boobs. That's America.
Yeah.
Baywatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. I can't believe. I mean, I feel like he could end up in jail or something.
It seems trending that way.
It just seems. How do you pull this off for this long?
Honestly, just for his own mystique, he's better off in jail than being poor.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
him in a 1-bedroom.
He's better off dead than poor. He's better off
What?
anything than poor.
1-bedroom in like fucking Topanga.
No.
Well, the amount of money he stole from this cannabis company, he's not going to be poor anytime soon.
No, but the way he spends.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
flying
What percentage
private.
of what he's spending is his money? Like, where's all the money coming from?
Yeah.
He has a jet. And what I mean by he has a jet is, I'm just saying he constantly posts from the same plane and calls it his. So
That's millions of dollars.
yeah, because I don't know how you could finesse it, unless he has a rich friend. But the point is, like, how are you? You're not renting the same plane over and over.
I feel a guy like that who can deliver girls could get a billionaire to give him the jet whenever he wants.
Yeah, that could be the thing.
What about the house? He owns the house, right?
I have no idea.
There's no way. That's like $100 million house.
But like the people that
He's
hang
like-
out with them,
that's
and
rented. That's
the people who
renting
hang
now.
out with them in LA are actual lowlifes.
Well, they attract.
Yeah.
They attract each other. He's the king of them.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
the one that made it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But hopefully we have more stories that are more exciting, like jail time and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I wish, I don't wish bad on the guy, but like it'd be fun to report about. It would make it all make a little bit more sense. Okay, last story and also a bit of sad news.
R.I.P.
RIP to a legacy American institution. Brooks Brothers. Bankrupt.
Bye, Felicia.
Closes a bunch of stores, looking for a buyer, close it up.
Guess who's waiting to pick up the pieces of this pile of shit? Authentic Brands Group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, your usual suspects in retail are involved in this transaction.
Yeah.
Brooks Brother, the sad thing about a brand like this, it started in 1818. They are like as American as it gets. They were still making product in America for some parts of their business. This is like when we grew up, we go to college, like this was the brand that you wore when you were at your first day of work. And like,
Oh yeah. So when I got my investment banking job, they give you a bonus, and I went straight to Brooks Brothers and bought like the douchebag banker clothing starter kit, the light blue button up, the slacks.
That's so good. Yeah, that's good. I mean, think of all the people that had those type of experiences at Brooks Brothers.
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they're such an iconic brand. I understand their business is probably heavily retail. There's no reason why this company should have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like, figured it the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's just a joke.
I think you just get to, when you're that big for that long,
Yeah.
you're just Brooks Brothers. You don't change.
Yeah. The Brooks are just like,
Whatever, man. Hey, brother, you trying to change? Nah.
no, brother.
No, thanks, brother. So, all right. Well, there they go.
Yeah.
What's crazy is this is not fueled by debt from a private equity firm.
It's just actually bad. The business
It's
just went
just
to toilet.
purely bad business.
Yeah. The sales just plummeted after COVID.
And I think people are also just, because to go bankrupt, you have to convince a judge that you actually are insolvent, not just trying to get out of shitty leases.
Yeah.
So now this is like, hey, we're not open. We have no idea when we're going to be open.
Yeah.
Let's get out of everything.
Okay. Well, rest in peace. We had a good run,
Yep.
Authentic brands will keep it alive. Okay, let's do winners, losers content.
Okay.
Who's your winner for the last week, Dee?
My winner is the Supreme Court. A lot of people aren't doing shit. I get 4 or 5 notifications every day from the
they're
Supreme
working.
Court.
Yep.
They're doing so many damn cases and just churning shit out
Yeah, they
during
are.
COVID. And by the way, these people are old. Are they doing this on Zoom?
Good question.
Are they doing it in person? Like, I don't know if
Grandkids
Ruth
are
Bader
probably-
Ginsburg can just be
Like,
pulling
is
up.
Ruth Bader's granddaughter helping her set up Zoom to rule on abortion?
So I have two winners. That was one because I'm also. It's nice to see the Supreme Court showing some non-bias in some of these results we're seeing.
Agreed.
The other is there is a company in India started by Mukesh Ambani called Jio Meat. I don't know if it's
Jio.
Jio Meat.
Jio.
Yeah, Jio. Yeah. Jio Meat. Meat is like their new Zoom competitor. Somehow, this is amazing marketing. I don't know if they did it, whoever did it. They've convinced Indians that Zoom is a Chinese company.
Really?
Yes.
Did they really?
Yes.
It's a Chinese founder.
Chinese founder, but it's an American company.
Too close.
But
Too close for comfort.
In India, I was looking through this on Twitter. They have convinced people that it's a Chinese company.
Wow.
So nobody wants to use Zoom in China. I mean, in India.
That's amazing.
Yeah, good. I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do. That'll work.
So now everyone even our cousins sent us the link. No one uses Zoom. Check out Geo. I don't know if you saw in our family
I didn't
chat.
see it, but that's
But
good.
they sent, and then I went and downloaded it because I wanted to see what it was. And I was like, oh, this is Zoom.
Wow.
So good for Geo.
I mean, the interesting thing about Geo is since the pandemic has started, so March, they've raised $16 billion.
Yeah.
So it's from every
Facebook,
TPG, you name it. It's the most high-profile investor group that you could possibly imagine, getting billions of dollars to own. I actually think it's stupid of Geo, unless he just needed the cash to fund his other businesses, because you're giving selling the Indian market.
Because China was never up for sale. India just sold themselves.
Like, I know we bash a lot of these investors. The group they have, these guys are all sharks and they're all smart.
Yeah.
And they're one-upping the valuation one after the other.
Yeah.
So, like, one high-profile investor invests, and the boom's like, okay, here, Silver Lake, here. And they just keep driving up the valuation because they know it doesn't matter. If you own the Indian mobile market, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, in getting access to
the data, I'm sure they have all these stipulations. We get to own the data. We get to see the data. We
want to know every samosa that's eaten in India,
and they'll build an app around it.
That's good. That's good. Okay, good. Anand, who's your winner?
My winner is the TikTok kids.
Mine too. I literally wrote the TikTok kids.
My reason is I feel like I know these guys have been famous in the TikTok world, but it seems like they're getting really mainstream.
Yep.
Like the fact that Portnoy thought it was important to bring one of those kids on.
I agree.
And he knows his job is to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Even though his demo is different, but he knows, like, man, these are the kids that are next. And I firmly believe the people that we talked about on the last episode, they are going to replace the Jenners and Kardashians.
Yeah.
And it just seems... The fact that I'm 36, I'm turning 37.
You don't even know.
That's all.
You just lost it. Yeah. You stop counting at 35.
And even though it's our job to know the news, these kids weren't really on my radar until recently. And it seems like the avalanche has just started.
Yeah, I think this was the nail in the coffin that put them over the edge.
Yeah. Well, they became very mainstream. They were teen stars, and I think this week made them like...
This is like Jake Paul graduating from Disney Channel type shit.
I'll tell you why it's different, especially for the D'Amelios, because they're a family. The family is more sellable.
Well, them
Jake Paul was this reckless kid,
Yeah.
partying, punching. It's just like
people hated him.
I don't think anyone hates Charlie D'Amelio.
Hell no. How could you?
No, I don't think I'm directly associating Charlie, but I think everybody else that was involved.
No,
like
but
all the kids.
It's different.
The guys.
You're talking about like they're on the Today Show.
True.
They're on Ellen.
Yeah,
they're
true.
like
Jake Paul was like, who's this fucking Disney kid lighting his pool on fire? And everyone's like, this fucking clown. But his core group was stronger than anyone thought.
What are the odds Kris Jenner's made the phone call?
Has to have. I mean, the other girl, her like bestie, I don't know, co-star, is this girl named Addison Rae. She's already all up in Kourtney Kardashian's post at her house playing with the kids.
How old is this girl? Isn't Kourtney like 40?
Yep.
No, but I bet you the kids like her. Sophia Richie is dating Scott Disick. Yeah, how old is she?
She's like 21, isn't she?
Yeah, she just turned 21.
Addison Rae's 20.
Yeah.
When it's all about clout,
Scott Disick's
age
next
is just a
girlfriend.
number.
You know what's crazy though? These kids are so young that it honestly makes Kylie Jenner seem like old news. What is she, 22?
Yeah, she's washed.
Washed? Too old?
She got a kid now? Old ass woman.
Gross.
Yeah. Grandma.
What's up, Grandma?
And you got a walker out there?
I mean, the Jenner family, unless they just own the D'Amelio family, which is certainly possible very soon.
No, you know what they do?
They better watch their
back. If I was
back.
Chris, I would buy the family.
Yes.
You know the model.
Yeah.
Buy the family.
Give them $50 million for half the family.
Yes. You can do that.
The other thing they could be doing is Addison Rae, Charlie, come over to the house. This is Penelope, Mason, North, Stormy.
Already did that.
They did that because Mason's favorite people are them, so they're there.
And then just blow up their page.
They already did,
They need to buy them.
I mean, they're already starting to do that, so it's really...
You should be able to buy
They
families.
need to start buying families.
But imagine if you're Kylie and Kendall and
buy that
mom, you're no longer the prized object of the family.
Sorry.
And now it's
Sorry, you got
D'Amelio
old.
girls.
I mean, I'll tell you what. The same way Portnoy looked old next to Charlie or Wiggle Dick.
Kylie looks old compared to Charlie
Well,
D'Amelio.
yeah, but Courtney. There's photos of Courtney with Addison Rae, and she looks like a grandmother. She literally looks like Kris Jenner. It's insane. Just because when you put them next to each other, you see
they're
now.
20 years difference.
Yeah.
Kourtney Kardashian is my age.
Washed up, man. I say you keep Kylie, buy the D'Amelios,
Yeah.
You gotta start trading assets.
trade them out. Trade them out.
It's like just like an NBA franchise.
Yeah,
You
just
gotta-
like anything.
Next up.
Come on, this is business.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm very long the D'Amelio family.
Me too. Okay, who's our losers?
My loser is actually going to be the. I have a bunch, but I'll start with my first.
Okay.
My first one is the NBA. I saw the food.
The
that
Fire
was my
Festival
loser.
meal.
Okay.
Damn it. That was
I
my-
have a couple
Okay.
losers. My first one is the NBA. I mean, NBA athletes are like Ferraris.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the most elite athletes in the world.
Yep.
You can. What are you talking? What
What are you
at?
shaking your head at?
What are you at?
Do you
What,
know how
soccer?
hard it is
No,
to do what
soccer
they
players.
do? There's a
He
few
went to
semantics.
basketball class. He knows.
Yeah, fucking USC basketball graduate. dude.
Goddamn certificate from USC basketball.
Some
4 hours a week.
Have some respect.
Professional NBA athletes
Are
are.
the most elite.
Can you give the
To me-
context? Can you give the why you're bringing it
Okay,
up?
so the bubble has started in Orlando.
Yeah.
Some players got left for the bubble. So a couple of players started posting. Oh, I just got in the bubble. This room looks cool. Then they got their first meal. It literally looks like a Coach Spirit Airline meal.
It's Firefest.
It's horrendous. You cannot feed the most elite athletes in the world like shit.
Like, how big of a fuck
no
up is
way.
this by the NBA? Because so here's apparently the story that when you enter the bubble, everyone has to quarantine the players 48 hours.
Yeah.
Reporters have to quarantine 14 days.
Yeah.
Because they're flying commercial, these guys are flying private, and they've been tested. I think you get tested every day, and if you're for the last month. So you're gonna send these guys to the bubble. They've all been tested every day, and I know you're trying to protect the bubble at all costs, but you're gonna give them like Lunchables
Yeah.
type meals. You can't figure out how to, in a clean way, deliver gourmet meals. These guys are like, first of all, they're like worth more than most small businesses individually in the country.
Every single one of
one
them. Every single one of them is a $10 million business.
At the minimum.
Yeah. Minimum.
It's
That's something
somewhere-
average. Average is 10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you think you can get away? I mean, the players are talking so much shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
The funniest was Rondo. He posted his room, calling it looking like a Motel 6, but it was actually kind of a nice room.
Yeah.
And he's just getting roasted. But he's used to staying in suites.
That's true.
Yeah. I literally was like, why? Some of these hotels these guys are staying at, like, and our friend Jay, who listens to the pod, he said the Orlando Magic, I think, are in the bubble. He said they're staying in the worst hotel because of the worst team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they tiered it out.
Think
Yeah.
about it, you have a mansion down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Lakers, Bucks, and Clippers, they got the hot hotel. And then the next
Really?
set of teams, they split up the hotels by tiers.
Look what LeBron just tweeted.
I know, I was going to read that out.
Just left the crib to head to the bubble. Shit felt like I'm headed to do a bid, man. For real. Hated to leave the James gang. I don't understand why they couldn't let people bring their wives, their girlfriends,
Yeah.
and their families.
This is an
What's a bid?
absolute
Just break that
unmitigated
down.
disaster.
Oh,
My
It's
goal
going
is
down.
it's not going to work. They're not going to make it to the end.
There's
Or
no
they're just gonna
way.
let everyone play and just
No, either let everyone get it and open the bubble up
yeah.
and just treat it like flu-like symptoms. You could play or not.
Yep.
Or this is going to end so quickly.
Yeah.
People are getting, like, some of these guys are coming in to play like 6 games and they bounce. Why would you show up?
Yep.
They don't even have a shot to win.
I agree. To eat those shitty fruit bowls.
And then wait till the quarantine's up. And then what is the NBA really well known for? Groupies.
Yeah.
There's groupies outside of every NBA hotel
Yep.
around the country. You're going to tell these guys that are 25 years old,
Yeah.
that are all rich as shit.
No, they're sneaking
Look what
in.
these broke TikTokers are doing.
Yeah.
They're
exactly.
no money.
Exactly. There's no way. There's the stories from the bubble. I think are going to be good if we could ever hear them.
And
How they snuck people
JJ
in.
Redick said he's an NBA player for the Pelicans. He's entering the bubble. He put the over-under 7 days till the first person breaks the bubble. 7 days.
No way. So how is it going to last that long? They're literally putting them in jail. This is a joke.
There's no way.
LeBron.
I saw Josh Hart post like his 2 screens and playing video games in his like shitty ass room.
Yeah.
I was like, why are these people subjected to living like this?
Yeah.
It's just I know everyone's going, oh, they're millionaires, but they're accustomed to a certain.
And they earned it.
They earned it. Yeah, they shouldn't have to be forced to live like fucking peasants.
Yeah.
So my other loser is the U.S. economy. I think it's spiraling out of control. I think the V-shaped recovery is absolutely finished now. I saw many states slow down reopenings. I'm hearing L.A. mayor potentially said we can go back to full stay-at-home order. No one's going to restaurants. Sure, there are a handful of places that are crowded, the most popular places that seating outdoor. I drove around LA. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Outside, I barely saw anyone sitting at any restaurant.
Yep.
People are not traveling. United Airlines came out and said they may furlough 50,000 people starting October 1 if things don't get back to normal soon. No one's traveling. This is a disaster, complete disaster. I don't see how things turn around quickly. I mean, now I'm actually afraid because, the first 10 trillion came out pretty easily.
Yeah.
The next 10 trillion of aid that's going to be needed to keep the country alive, I don't know how easy it's to get.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. You're completely right. The economy's cratering before our eyes because even the states that have reopened, it's not like the economy's roaring.
No.
You still have 50 million people unemployed. There's, I just got a hot take from a group chat. Arizona's getting shut down at 3 p.m. today.
Wow.
So we'll see if that's true.
So, Arizona's the worst case right now.
Yeah, and they were one of the first to open. That was the place everyone wanted to go.
Yeah.
It looks like Garcetti was threatening last night that LA is going to get shut down. The economy, in my opinion, even if we had these slow reopenings, I was like, it's going to take at least 6 to 12 months for people to realize how bad it really is, the economy. Because I think the important distinction, which I think I got wrong at the beginning of this pandemic, is people went into this, it was so blunt, it happened overnight, and rich people were still rich.
Yeah.
So they entered this crisis as as wealthy as they were. Stock market's held, real estate prices have held, all the big asset classes that rich people own have all held. However, their businesses are going to crater.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to take time for it to trickle down.
It's next year.
Yeah, and when you have top earners reducing spending, that is a prolonged recession.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. So right now what we're getting fooled with is the lower income middle class are buying essentials. You still need your milk, eggs, cheese, bread, gas if you're driving, just basic needs.
Yeah.
You still have to have them. But when the discretionary income falls off a cliff over the next 12 months, and it's going to slowly trickle because first a business is going to be like, oh, I'm going to lay off 20% of people. Then their profits are going to get hit. And you won't feel that for a while. It's going to take time. It's not like someone's business, even if it overnight got decimated, they still came in rich.
Yeah. I agree. And I think the bigger thing that I still don't see enough people, when I listen, I'm on Bloomberg and I'm listening to analysts and billionaires who are just out of touch with reality, they just assume our behaviors are going to be exactly the same as they were in January and February.
Yeah.
Let's take school, for example. I have a daily discussion with parents about, will you send your kids back to school? Do you know how big of the economy is schooling? Private, public, how many people are employed because of schools? Millions of people. There's a good chance, it is a toss-up. It's a 50-50 toss-up of parents I talked to said, I'm not sending my kids back to school.
And then think about the trickle effect, the vendors that supply food to the school, the supplies, man, we haven't even seen the beginning of the effects of the economy. I'm not talking about the stock market, let's be very clear. I'm talking about what's actually the actual brick and mortar, the actual what's actually happening.
Yeah. The real life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even, it feels to me like there is such a large amount of pain coming that no one talks about.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like,
Yeah.
come on, like, how can any smart person not see
Yeah.
that this hasn't hit yet?
I literally hear these top billionaire fund managers telling about a V-shaped recovery. Where if they said we're already in recovery. I don't know anyone who's acting like they did in February.
No.
Spending money, traveling.
Well, you can't.
Go to restaurants.
You do that.
But I'm just saying, like, who is spending money like they did in February?
And they're increasing, like Anand said, they're increasing lockdown.
Yeah.
We're not going the other way.
No.
Literally the same thing we were saying in March and April when the stock market should have been going down. Everything is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
going out of
wild.
business. You know how many places are for lease in LA? It was so bad in February already, pre-pandemic. There are parts of Sunset, prime parts of Sunset, where there's nothing in sight.
Yeah. And this is the big difference between '08 and now, which is why it's just taking longer for it to affect us, is what was the crisis in '08? It was over-levered real estate and people not being able to fulfill their obligations.
Yeah.
The next trickle effect, home prices collapsed,
Yeah.
stock market collapsed. And the Fed just was slower at responding
Yeah.
to prop up the stock market. They just did it in 2 weeks, what took years. And that was the big difference. But most of people's net worth is in their homes
Yeah.
and the stock market. So you had two things happen simultaneously. Their home prices got killed. The stock market got killed.
Yeah.
And that caused that financial borderline depression. This is just going to take longer. It's coming.
And I think it's going to also last longer in a sense. I don't know about last longer tit for tat, but like Dee was saying too, like behaviors are changing. Like the fundamental way that the economy is structured will be a little shifted.
Yeah.
And I think there's some things that some industries just aren't the size that they were.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Travel
travel
alone.
industry will never be as big as it was, or it'll take 5 years.
It'll just take a long time.
Take 5 years. Going to concerts, like that's not going to exist for a while. And if it does, it's going to be in a small capacity. Like
Even
when
retail as a whole, right? Who wants to go sit in a crowded
grocery
store?
shopping.
For example, we're about to have a baby at the end of August. The first 3 months is the time where your baby is most susceptible to, getting infected with something.
Yeah.
That pretty much crosses me out from going to a restaurant,
Yeah.
right? Like, what are the chances? Like, I'm not going to risk that.
Yeah.
So more than likely, my wife and we have not gone to a restaurant yet and sat and had a meal. We may not go till next year. It is July. And we haven't gone since March.
Yeah.
I think my last meal was Delilah
And that's also anyone with
with Anish.
around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember that. That was right before the lockdown.
Yeah. I think I'd already freaked out about handshaking by then.
That's anyone having babies. That's anyone that's immunocompromised or it hangs out with anyone who is. Anyone with elderly people in their life.
That's probably what, 20% of the population?
Yeah. It's a huge part. Yeah. Okay. Losers, right?
Big loser.
Is that your last one? You got more?
No, that's it.
We could keep going.
Anna, who you got?
Mine was the NBA bubble.
Yes, got it. Mine is the other TikTok kids. So my winners are the TikTok kids. My losers are the other TikTok kids. And the reason I say that is because in my nightly TikTok catch up last night, I noticed that every account is already pitching, follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. They're scrambling. And I think for this new era of, well, it's not really new anymore, but we should have learned from the Viners and the people who transitioned, you got to take your audience while you got it and transition it.
Yeah.
And you got to really own something because all of this fun that you're having and all this money that you're making is owned by TikTok and it's at the whims of TikTok or any given platform and it could come and go at any moment.
Yeah.
And this may be, everyone's always kind of said that, like knowing it's possible. This may be the only time so far that it literally just disappears.
Yeah.
And you had like a good little thing going and you had a livelihood created and you had some little celebrity and whatever, and it could legitimately be gone. And thinking that people are just going to jump over to Instagram with you is not always very likely.
Well, the other problem is you're making a certain type of content for one type of platform, and now this type of content isn't welcome on this platform.
Yeah.
You know?
And you don't own, I think there's this false sense of like, oh, I'm a entrepreneur. I own my own destiny.
Audience.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they own their audience when they have followers.
Yeah.
You're at the mercy of a platform.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going to get boned if this happens, and I'm going to go ahead and call you losers early, because if I call you losers after it happened, I'm mean.
Okay.
Right now, it's still fine.
All right.
All right. What should everyone check out this weekend?
Content, I got 3 recommendations.
Give it to
Wow.
us. You got a lot today.
Yeah, I got a lot. I've thought about it. David Foster documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
If you like music, David Foster is one of the most famous songwriters ever.
Yep.
But I love music, and just hearing his whole life story is like incredible.
Okay.
Definitely watch that. Number 2, Desperados. It's like these 3 women that go to Cabo because one girl's like,
I thought it was like an Eagles documentary.
no. It's literally this girl is desperate.
Got it.
And she's trying to get married or meet a guy, and it's like her whole story, how she like can't last in a date, and then she finally falls in love with a guy and tells him to like pretty much fuck off, and goes to find his phone to delete the message. They go to Cabo to find it, and he gets into a car accident. It's pretty funny.
Okay. What's that on? That's Netflix too?
That's Netflix too.
Okay.
The other one is Pop Smoke's album. Pop Smoke, whatever his name is.
I got to soak that in.
It is fucking good.
I got to listen
And
to
I'll tell you why. It reminds me, and I know 50 Cent is involved with the project, it reminds me of 50's first album.
It's like old New York
gangster, and it's like he's melodic, and the sound is different. It's so good.
Yep. And two winners. It's I think on pace to sell like 225,000.
Yeah,
which is insane. And it also looks like in LA early this morning they arrested 5 people for his murder.
Yeah.
Did he get murdered out here?
Yeah.
Got murdered in Mount Olympus.
Oh, that's right. It was like a military style execution, right?
It was just some sort of.
And they said the address was. Yeah.
It came on an Amiri bag.
Yeah.
He posted an Amiri bag.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember this.
But nobody knows that that's where they actually got the address. But it was in the middle of the night. They hopped the gate into the house and killed him in his house. So good for,
Yeah, but that album is fire.
Yeah, I got to listen to
From
it.
an old man, that shit's hot.
I got to listen to it. Okay. Anand, what do you got?
So it's a movie from 10 years ago.
Okay.
It's called Fair Game.
Great movie.
With Naomi Watts and Sean Penn. So the premise is this guy, Joseph Wilson, is a diplomat in Africa. And he's basically discovered that Iraq wasn't really pursuing uranium, which is building weapons of mass destruction.
Yep.
Obviously, that was the whole premise of why we invaded Iraq.
Yep.
And he writes an op-ed piece in the New York Times saying that it's just based on false evidence.
Yep.
His wife is a CIA operative, covert, and it's leaked from the White House to media publications that she's a covert CIA operative. So the moment your cover's blown, you're gone. So they ruined his wife's career because of his op-ed piece.
Yep.
And you just see how...
Is this based on a true story?
It's all true. It's all real.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
And it's just shows you that administration, how they systematically and tactically were willing to go at all costs to get their agenda through.
Yep.
And, it seems like, it seems like George Bush didn't even know what was going on. This is all Dick Cheney and his cronies that were like, we're getting in here and we're gonna do whatever we want. We want to pursue this foreign policy agenda. And it's crazy how tactically and just ruthless they executed their plan.
I mean, it's hard for me. Is Dick Cheney still alive?
Yeah.
Gosh, what a savage this guy is.
He's the worst.
It's hard. You know what's funny to me too, like in all of this like cancel culture and stuff like that, like there's real like monsters like still living amongst us. And you're worried about like Kevin Hart saying a gay joke 10 years ago. But it's hard for me to even wrap my head around how crazy what they did was.
It's insane.
Like the amount of people that died and the amount of innocent US soldiers and the amount of
and the amount of economic gain like Halliburton had.
Yeah.
It's hard to fathom that something like that can happen in modern times.
And it's just in the era of like, I feel like in the 2000s, like we didn't have social media like we do today, but it's not like we were in the dark. It was happening in front of our eyes.
That was still Facebook, right?
Facebook was 04.
MySpace?
So yeah, the last 4 years of
But
no, but
internet,
the point is,
MySpace, I'm just saying.
I
like,
remember reading all this during the time, and nothing was done about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's hard for me to wrap my head around. And that's the thing. Maybe I'm really naive and stupid here, but
Maybe you are.
Seems like Trump can't. Seems like Trump can't pull that off.
I don't think
No.
It's just the one. I think he pulls off like the fuckery, the like bullshit, poorly worded tweets.
What happened during the Bush presidency is fucking treason.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
It's wild. Okay. My content is George Masvidal.
I'm a big George Vidal fan.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is that a tennis player?
No.
Who's Vidal?
Nadal's brother?
Oh.
I'm kidding.
There's a big UFC fight this weekend.
Okay.
And the reason why is not only because Masvidal is just a really incredible fighter, but Dana White got a fucking island in Abu Dhabi called Fight Island, and they're like, that's his bubble. And they're going there, and everyone's tested same thing, but you're on an island in Abu Dhabi.
I was
where the fight
wondering-
is happening. It's so insane.
And that's this weekend?
Yes.
So how do they logistically pull this off? He just chartered like a 747 and put everyone on?
Must have. And he said he posted yesterday a video and said, I'm in my hotel room, quarantined for 24 hours. I just tested for the 5th time. So they might have done like before you leave, when you land, whatever, but I don't know.
Is Joe Rogan in the bubble?
I don't know if Joe Rogan went. I don't know.
Doesn't
not going to Abu
he
Dhabi.
commentate all
Yeah.
that?
They're gonna give him a camera.
he skips. I think he kind of has like he can pick and choose.
I mean, he's not going to Abu Dhabi.
I mean, he seems like a guy that would do anything.
But a Fight Island Abu Dhabi, it seems like a cool experience to see.
They should have just taken over Maui for the NBA.
I don't think
bet-
anyone else would let them.
And I bet Abu Dhabi paid them.
I think Abu
Because
Dhabi.
it's good for branding.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, what the fuck? Think about like the NBA is in shitty hotel rooms in Disneyland, and Dana White is in fucking Abu Dhabi with an island.
Yeah, I bet you if the NBA said, "Well, we're going to Abu Dhabi," they would have
Built
paid,
this-
they would have paid them $1 billion, made up for all the lost revenue of
Made the game more international.
no fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
wild.
creative.
I will say Joe Rogan slipped the other day on a podcast and essentially said that Dana White told him that Trump told him, because they're buddies, that they were really close to a test that everyone could have, like every establishment where you could like lick a piece of paper and it instantly, or lick something and it would instantly tell you and you could be in or out.
I heard him say that because I think I listened to that same podcast. Was it some guy named
that-
Lindsay? James Lindsay or something?
Yeah.
And I was running, so I don't know if I missed the part where Dana White. I do remember him saying we're really close to just being able to lick something. You can come into a comedy store, or you can't, right?
Yes.
That was the context.
Yes, but he slipped and said, Dana White told me, or Trump told Dana. I heard that Trump said he's working on it.
I can catch that.
And yeah, so it's just some.
That was an interesting podcast.
I feel like you're becoming a Joe Rogan fan slowly but surely.
I really wanted to figure it out, similar to like TikTok,
Now you're in. You're going to be
think-
hunting in no time.
hunting elk, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm supposed to do.
In your Traeger grill.
No, but I it's interesting because I wanted to pick guests that I knew nothing about. So I'd always wait for
Yeah.
someone I knew and then jump on. But I realized even these random people, he doesn't talk about their lives or anything. It just
No.
goes into just this conversation. And that's the skill. He doesn't need famous people on his podcast.
No,
He
some of the
needs
best ones are just
articulate
with the
ones.
people he knows well because they talk more openly. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's too long. So
I agree.
I'm like just jumping in for a little bit.
I watch a lot of the clips on YouTube. There's like either like a clip channel.
So are there more people consuming his YouTube or his podcast?
I don't know. He says podcasts.
We're like Joe Rogan right over 2 hours.
It's literally an hour and 50 long.
Is it an hour 55? Yeah. Oh my God. We got to do something about
This
this.
might be the longest episode we've ever had.
Yeah, this is the longest. We've never gone over hour 40
It doesn't even
minutes.
feel like it.
I was
Oh yeah, we're about
chatting
to
with our
knock 2 hours.
buddies.
We're very close to 2
Oh
hours.
my gosh. All right. Fuck. We got to go. Listen, if you
Damn,
listen
Pete
this
pulled
long.
the plug.
Well,
No,
we
I just-
we
he
do
just started
have
laughing.
great news. We did just get a text. Our friend Riley just got engaged to his girlfriend Brittany.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
He just sent us the
Congratulations.
picture.
In Santa Barbara out here.
I can't tell, but it looks coastal, so it looks Santa Barbara.
Good job, Riley.
Yeah, congrats, brother.
Let's talk about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Let's just
Tell
over
me
to
about
the
Riley's life.
Riley, so when did you and
Born and
Brittany
raised.
first meet?
Yeah, let's call him. Let's get him on the line.
Calling.
Okay, well, shit. If you listen this far, you're as
Something's
Kathy as a
fucking wrong
Kathy
with you.
gets. What'd you say?
Said something's wrong with you.
I don't know, man. The biggest podcasts run long.
It's true. It's true.
We still have a giveaway to do.
He goes anywhere from 1:30 to 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'll do the giveaway in the ad.
we are the
Don't
number
worry
one
Yeah, do it in
podcast
the
in
ad.
the world. Okay, well, there you go, guys. So have a good weekend. And once again, if you're listening at this point, you really fuck with us. So thank you.
Yep.
Maybe head on over to iTunes and just give us a little bonus. Spend 10 more minutes. Head on over to iTunes, rate and review us.
Oh, that won't even take you 10 minutes. That'll just a minute.
And if you're really bored, go to behind closed doors.
You're really,
All right, we're done. We're done. It's over. Turn
If
it
you
off.
just can't
I
get
got
enough.
shit to do now.
Listen, how about the weather this weekend?
Fuck up.
All right, guys, have a good weekend.